And welcome, everybody.
Hello.
To the first Peak and Kleck podcast.
Like
we'll figure out a real name later, but
I like that.
For now, yeah, I'm Peak, owner of Peak Human Fitness. You know, Peak Human Podcast. Check that out.
I'm Dylan Kleckner, but we'll just go Kleck. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll roll with that one. So, to start off, first of all, this Thursday night game.
Yeah, right now we got the Thursday night game pulled up. Obviously, had to do it through Amazon, so thanks Amazon for that. But it is what it is. But we got it pulled up here. We're watching. Obviously, we can't show the camera because copyright. But yeah, this is just gonna be a podcast.
We're definitely watching it on Amazon.
Dedicated to sports in general. We'll be talking about some Formula One today. Dylan will be leading that. I'm going to be learning today. Mm-hmm. I'm sure some of you listening will be as well. And then we'll be talking football, basketball. I'm a fan of Detroit, so I'll be chirping this guy who's a fan of the Denver team. So,
I'm a big Denver guy. Grew up, born and raised in Colorado, so that's really, I don't pay too much attention to baseball. I'll watch the playoffs, but Rockies aren't doing too hot, so not a whole lot of interest there. But in the last couple of years, I have taken up Formula One, and it has been quite the exciting twist and turn, I would say.
Yeah, how long have you been watching Formula One?
It started it was a year ago.
Oh, really?
Probably. It was a year and 4 or 5 months ago. I came back. It was one of the last weeks of school, and I was coming back to work for the summer, back in the Springs, and I just remember I pulled up this documentary on Netflix. It was A Drive to Survive. And I know I tell everyone, I feel like a billboard sometimes when I talk about it. Because I tell people to watch it, but genuinely, for me, this was one of my favorite, this is up there with The Last Dance for me. It's The Last Dance, this, for me, it's amazing.
Yeah, we just got to watch that.
When I watched it.
You've told me about it.
And that would be cool, because you'd get to know kind of all the guys and kind of what they're about. But it was just crazy to me. I love intensity, and I love, complex sports. I love watching athletes perform at, the highest possible thing. And in Formula One, you don't, if you're not performing, you crash, you die. Millions of dollars every weekend, hundreds of millions of dollars is pumped into this every weekend. So for these teams, it's such a financial burden to do this and do all these things, and it's you fuck up one slight turn and that's it. But that's the other part of it, is everyone's got to perform, a pit crew, the managers,
right?
Everyone is a one cohesive unit, and it's you could have a perfect lap, fast car, you could be juiced, Max Verstappen speed this season, and then one of your screws just doesn't come on.
Right.
And that's the thing that I love. It's everything has to be perfect. And the fact that I'm a huge Mercedes fan, next podcast I'll be wearing my Mercedes hat.
Oh.
Lewis Hamilton's my favorite driver. Watching that documentary was really just to continue with it.
Tyreek.
It was really cool to just see it and get an understanding for it. And then I looked up and I was like, are you telling me this is happening in real life right now? And then that was it. And I texted one of my buddies that I knew was into it, and he shared me his Formula One TV password. We split it this year now, but I just love it. I've watched every race since then, so I've watched consistently. I think I've probably watched 26 races in a row, something like that. The seasons are 23.
So you're still fairly new to it.
So I'm still I would say I'm into it, but I've dedicated my time.
But you seem you're really into it, because I genuinely did not know that you've only been watching it for a year. You seem like you've been, because I've known you I've known you longer than that. So I feel I don't know, for some reason I just feel like you've. I don't know.
It just makes me laugh, because it was really something it became kind of almost like a habit or a tradition for me to watch it. Last summer was different because I didn't have watching it down. It's so weird with all these different time zones and all these different places they go, and it's when you're here Mountain Standard Time, you're working 40 hours a week, you know what I'm saying? You're trying to coordinate what's happening. You don't really have a way to watch it, because I know my buddy had that account at the time, so I was trying to record it on the TV. And it's hard to find it televised. They're doing a good job of it now. But that part was definitely difficult. But it this summer, what I loved about it was through the school year, I would wake up and I would be so, tomorrow, we'll watch it. There's going to be practice tomorrow, which that's them just, firing up, and they just do tests and stuff around the same track that they will be racing on. And Saturday is qualifying. So it's on these weekends where these races have happened, I've just made it, it's such a thing I look forward to, because I can watch it after I wake up. Because it's happening, probably last REM cycle kind of situation, in real time is when it's happening. So wake up 9 or 10, and I love watching it. Keep myself a pot of coffee. It's a tradition, and I'm just fully into it. I've done it every single weekend it's on.
So how many you've only seen one season?
I've seen through. So there's one season where they go from March to November.
Okay, so that's a big part of the year.
It's pretty long, yeah. They have breaks in between. They have
so you've only been watching for one season.
I would say I've now watched for a full season, but I will tell you, like, I love football, I love basketball, playoff hockey. I will say is just like something special. That is something that is just a different beast. But out of things I've watched live, I will say I think like my most watched live sport now is definitely Formula One. I just cool. And I know it's like when people come into our room and they watch it, and you know, like even when you come in, it's like you go do something, you come back, and it's like. All that's changed is like the lap number.
Yeah.
You know, to me, it's like people are like, how do you do this? I'm like, I just
exactly.
love it. Like, I love every single part of it. Like, yeah, I love Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton, but I love watching Ferrari race Red Bull, and I like watching these midfield teams go at it, and like the midfield team trying to undercut someone else, and then you know what I mean. There's so much little shit you can pay attention to in that time span, and I think that's why I really like it. To whereas football, you know, it's just like one. It's
it's pretty, and I think that obviously it's good for this podcast, but like. See, like I've seen Ford versus Ferrari, so like I can definitely appreciate Formula One. Mm-hmm. But even like me, I never really thought about all the little intricacies that go into. Like you mentioned the pit crew, obviously you see the pit crew, but like think about those guys actually have to train. You know, like it's not like train. It's not like you just show up there and suddenly you can just do.
It's so funny. They do like stretches. They do like the team stretches before.
What is it? The guy from Cars, what's his name? Not Luigi, but.
Guido,
yeah, you're just saying, you know, like Guido trained. He trained, you know? Yeah. You don't just pull up and do that.
Yeah. It's I want to show you a video. Maybe we can do this. This could be like a segment down the road in the podcast, but I want to show you a video of just like an F1 driver's just wheel. That's it. Like, like you can see the track maybe in like a square up here, but like just in a lap, a driver will make like, they'll touch, like they have like probably like 20 buttons. On their phone,
it's like a rocket ship.
Yeah, on their like steering wheel, they will like touch. They will make adjustments like 10 times a lap. They make adjustments into every turn while going 200 miles an hour. While remembering where the braking zone is. While remembering the apex is here. I got to put my throttle down here so I can come out of the corner and have a better exit for this corner. While making sure no one can cut on the inside. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's wild. The way these guys' brains work, I really think you have to be like different.
You have to be sharp.
You literally have to be different. I don't know. I feel like these guys are like. The definition of just be on Adderall all the time.
No, yeah, you're right. I'm glad that you appreciate it too.
It's just it's crazy. They just get into like a lot of drivers they say like Monaco or even Singapore this weekend. So it's a nighttime race. So like lights will be up next to them. A lot of drivers say that when it's like a street circuit like that.
The Monaco one's coming up soon.
No, but like it's the same concept to where it's on a street. So this is in the streets of Singapore. So it's
okay,
but it feels like they're in a tunnel. That's what they all say. Because all you're seeing is the barriers and the fences that go around you.
Damn.
You're not looking above you or really around you. It just feels like you're in a tunnel.
Right.
Which is kind of crazy.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it's supposed to rain both days. It's gonna be exciting qualifying. I think we could definitely do a little update on it.
Definitely.
Next week. But I guess since we're on the topic, we can get into this weekend. I don't want to take up too much time. Let me know when we transition over.
I mean, we're gonna transition here from I guess Formula One talk to. Well, actually, let's give a little update on this game here. We're in the second quarter. It's at commercial right now, but I've got Joe Mixon rocking on one of my fantasy teams. He's got like 12 points, I think.
You got Tyreek and Joe Mixon.
You have Tyreek and Joe Mixon? Yeah, okay, Tyreek is definitely doing well. My phone's recording this, so I can't look at fantasy right now. So. But I'm playing against Tyreek Hill, so I'm kind of going to be... Anyways, middle of the second quarter, blah, blah, blah. I guess we'll just continue on the topic. We'll just talk about football since we're on the topic of that. So my Detroit Lions, all right, just so people know, like I grew up in Michigan and Chicago, but my whole family's from Michigan, so I'm a huge Lions fan. Used to go to the Detroit Lions training camp like once a year for a solid like 4 or 5 years. Because like at the Lions training camp, I don't know if I've told you this, but fun fact, like the first, I think like 10 kids aged like 15 or younger got to meet a rookie, like for certain like days. Mm-hmm. And so my dad would take me, I think we went like 3 times for those. And I got to meet, the only person I remember getting to meet was Ndamukong Suh. And that guy, well, like the only name I really remembered, not the only person. I remember all 3. They were all, that was awesome meeting all 3. But the only name I remember off the top of my head right now was Ndamukong Suh, who just was like an asshole. I just remember like in the like, I remember getting to meet one of the like the rookie safeties, and Ndamukong Suh was like supposed to be like the person I got to meet or whatever, because like I was the first person there, and he was a rookie at the time. But I like was just hanging out with this safety guy, because Ndamukong Suh just did not want to talk like to any of like the he just had nothing
like
and it was crazy.
Guy that's like
and
assaulted multiple
and he's like the dude who's stomping on.
Like, even when he was on the Rams, when he went to the LA Rams at the end of his career, he was doing like he would do dirty things on live television that was essentially just assault. So like
you know what? Like I'll look it up and I'm gonna like put this guy's name somewhere on this. Like that safety that I met instead, he ended up giving me his gloves.
Oh, that's awesome.
Sick. Like I definitely like. Should have used those in high school, you know. You
still have them?
I still have them at my dad's somewhere, I hope. But yeah, I have this cool like Lions football that I've got a bunch of signatures from. Had never ended up getting Calvin Johnson's. That was always the goal, but that's okay. We got like Reggie Bush when he played, Matthew Stafford.
Would you guys ever go to games?
I've only been to a Bears game, and we never able to go to a game during the school year.
Yeah,
and I lived with my mom.
It's just a lot, yeah.
And so it was a whole thing. But we did, if the Lions go to the playoffs this year. Dad, we're going. I've been thinking about it already, but Dad, we gotta go.
I think you have to.
Because we have to.
I mean, okay.
Because now that we're like modern times, Lions are doing all right this year. DeAndre Swift is injured for this week. Not looking great for that, but love you, DeAndre Swift. It's okay. Just bounce back. Jamal Williams, anime god, like we got him. Jamal Williams, I was looking, is ranked 8 for running backs right now on fantasy PPR.
Really?
At least in the NFL fantasy app.
So I just have one question though. So like, you've been following
as of the recording of this.
You've been following the Lions like most of your life, right?
I have been following the Lions since I was pretty young. I started playing football in first grade, so first grade I would say.
Did you wear a number that you like modeled?
Yes, like we tackled.
Like was it from a favorite player?
No, I never really got to choose a number until high school, and I chose like 88. Just because there's so many
88.
famous wide receivers with 88, and that's what I played.
But like around like you probably would have been like 7 or 8. But like, do you remember the 0-16 season?
I absolutely remember the 0-16 season because I think that was when I got to meet Sue, or like it was around that time.
Yeah. That's what I was just looking up because I remember there was I just remember this so well. I love like we're talking about like routines, like how I felt in that routine watching races. Like my dad, I would get up. I would always get up when I would hear him up, probably like after an hour. And he'd be making breakfast or something. We'd have like pregame NFL on, because it doesn't come on until 11, something like that. And there was a segment where they were giving like gifts, and it was like the worst. They were giving gifts because they predict through the season who's going to win each week, and they add up all their totals. And I forget who got it, but the guy that had the worst record, they gifted him like a framed picture of the Detroit Lions team that year, and said it said the perfect season. And then under it said 0-16 Detroit Lions 2008, and it was like everyone like on classic team picture where they're all like stacked up, and that just like that has been burned in my like memory for so long because I remember they were so close so many times that year, and then it just like I just remember
they
looking
fight
up.
Grit. Shout out Dan
because I followed football to an extent. I was 7 obviously, but like I watched it on Sundays. That's how I knew whose record was what, and all I remember is just seeing the Lions like week 14. And that was a really, like, first time I put any, like, brain power to it. And I was like, oh, my God, they are 0-13. This is crazy.
Yeah, that was definitely a core memory for me,
0-14.
But that's why I'm numb to the pain now. Like, you
guys have been through it. I will say, though. Okay.
I'm just numb to the pain.
All right, what about this, then?
Yeah.
What is the worst fan you could be? Like
for what team?
That's what I'm saying. What team you could be, because they're bad, because they have a bad culture, the location, the players, their history. Just like give me like 1 or 2 teams that you think
like what team would be like the most frustrating to cheer for?
Like if you were a fan of this team, it would demoralize you and make you sad.
Well, both the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears, which I am fans of both because I grew up in Michigan and Illinois. So again, I'm just numb to the pain. I think you knew the answer to that, and you were just setting
I really
me up.
thought you were gonna say because here's my deal. Like if I was a Raiders fan,
but wasn't that to be the Browns?
It's Browns or Raiders for me because here's my thing. I have one of my best friends, Sam. He and his dad are Browns fans, and I have watched them. I've known him since elementary school, and I have watched them just had so much, just a roller coaster of hope and letdown and hope and letdown and hope and letdown. And then LeBron left, and they were even more down because they had it's just.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. It's just funny. I think about being like a Cleveland sports fan, and I'm like, that's got to be tough. And then obviously, I would hate myself if I was a Raiders fan, but I just like, how do you do that? Your team consistently. This is one thing. Okay, I want to kind of bring up. Do you think that the Raiders can be successful?
Like this year, like what?
Just what they got going on, like in the future with what?
Okay, like on paper, Devontae Adams and Derek Carr, like they were college, weren't they roommates?
I think they knew each other.
That. I'm not gonna quote myself on that. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, they got camaraderie for sure, and so on paper you'd think they are just gonna slaughter people, but they haven't been. They play in like the hardest division in the NFL, which is the Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs, and Raiders.
People have been saying that, but like our division, maybe the NFL is just good.
This is on paper.
On paper.
This is on paper.
Hardest division on paper.
Again, like the NFL is always changing. Injuries add so much. Like there's so much flex in the NFL. Mm-hmm. On paper, like when everybody's healthy, that division, which is what again?
AFC West.
Yeah. That's got to be the best division.
I don't think we're playing like it currently.
We're definitely.
If I could be honest with you, I think the AFC West or AFC North currently is probably playing some of the best football. Exclude the Jets out of that, but like the Dolphins and the Bills have been tearing it up.
Oh, that is true.
And I just think I don't know.
That is very.
There's
true.
a lot of excitement over there, but at the same time, what I wanted to bring
up. The Jags just beat the Chargers.
What I wanted to bring up with Derek Carr is that we got
stats coming up.
I just wanted to reference I wish I would have told you it was Derek Carr because I would. You know what? Hold on. Let me pull up two other quarterbacks.
Okay.
And I'm gonna see if you can tell which one's Derek Carr because you're right. On paper, they should be successful, but.
And I know Derek Carr throws for a lot of yards. Like he made Hunter Renfrow look good. Did you know
they spent the most money in the offseason out of any NFL team?
The Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Really. Mm-hmm. And like, dude, the Raiders also just have bad juju from Henry Ruggs. I hate to say it, but like
that's probably Okay, so what do you think? Like, what's your overall like next 5 years? Are they successful? Meaning, like, I don't think a Super Bowl is even in question, but like
Raiders.
Do they not? Are they going to get out of this rut? Of
like damn, that was a hard hit for Tua, dude. This guy's head just keeps getting smacked. Oh my god, dude, he's doing the fingers.
Oh no!
Holy shit, dude. They need to take care of their quarterback. This is insane. Hold on. This is live. Hold on. Let's turn the volume on for this. Actually, that might be copyright for the audio.
Basically, last week it looked for all the world. Everybody thought
Tua's not moving, guys.
All right. Well, we'll keep you.
We're watching it live. I gotta turn the audio off.
Yeah.
Probably for copyright. And hold on, he gets sacked.
Oh, does he get thrown into the
head? The back of his head again.
Oh.
This guy knows it immediately too, dude. His fingers curled.
Oh man.
I have not seen someone's fingers curl like that since my roommate had a seizure.
Wow.
That was crazy. Okay. All right, yeah, they went to commercial. That was probably a good thing.
That's
wild.
Crazy.
Holy shit. Prayers up for Tua. That's crazy.
That's absolutely...
They need to take care of that guy.
I don't know why
they were already looking. They were already looking
in.
Did
the NFL look into it?
They already are. They're looking into
like how is he playing right now? He just like straight up
because everybody who's an NFL fan saw Tua last week, week 3, get his head smacked, and he like literally was stumbling down. Lyman had to hold him up. And then he came back into the game, later that quarter, the next quarter.
Okay.
And again, just smacked his head.
So I pulled up 3 Derek Carr and 2 other quarterbacks.
Jesus.
Okay. And I'm going to read you the touchdowns, the yards, and the completions. And the percentage. How about that? Or then we'll do touchdown, yards, interceptions.
Okay, yeah, sorry, I got to get my mind off.
No, I know. That was
okay. Yeah.
4,049, 19 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions, right?
Okay, that's one of the 3 players.
Mm-hmm. 4,298, 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. $3,802, 21 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Which one do you think Derek Carr is?
Which one do I think Derek Carr was? Mm-hmm. What was the first one again?
The first one was...
This is for the past season.
Yep. 4,049 yards and 19 touchdowns, 10 interceptions.
How many touchdowns?
19.
Tua is still
Which
down.
all of these quarterbacks have had years with more touchdowns than I've said, but...
All right.
I'm trying to prove a point here.
No, I understand the point because I don't know. Like, I would either say 1 or 2, but I'm going to say Tua had how many touchdowns and interceptions? The second person?
2 was...
Oh, my God, dude. His fingers. Look at that. That's horrible.
25.
Jesus Christ.
It was 30 or 25.
I would say he's 1.
Yeah, you got it. But I will say this is
that's because I actually knew he had 40,000 passing yards. I just remembered.
Second is Kirk Cousins. Third is Kyle Orton.
What?
So what I'm trying to prove here is that I don't know if he's an average quarterback or what the deal is with that, but I think
Kirk
that the
Cousins
Raiders
and Kyle Orton were the other two that
that compared to his numbers. And my point here is that I think Derek Carr could be a good quarterback, and I think he's doing a decent job. But in the last 4 years, half of the Raiders draft picks are either no longer on the team or they are literally just they don't play anymore.
Right.
Whether it's off-field issues and there's something else going on, like Henry Rugg, like they're incarcerated, or it just didn't work out.
Right.
Their drafting has been awful. They moved to Las Vegas, where their fans aren't. And I get that it's an open market there, but the culture there is terrible. Josh McDaniels is one of the worst head coaches I've ever seen in my life.
And like
he came to the
Las
Broncos,
Vegas.
and the only thing he did was make us lose for 2 years straight, and then he went straight back to the Patriots. So, I don't know. I think it's a culture problem. Then you have the whole Gruden thing, and you have all the things, and then you give all these kids this money when they get drafted, and you send them to Vegas?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think they are set up to not be successful.
No,
if I'm
I
being
agree.
honest with you. I don't know. It seems like an organizational culture kind of situation. I know Derek Carr is trying really hard, but it's like at a certain point, like what's going on? Because you spent all this money in the offseason. You signed Devontae Adams. You re-signed Carr, Like you're planning for this, and every time you've planned for it, it just poofs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it's funny, and I love it because I love watching the Raiders fumble.
Yeah, because that's your division.
But they are notorious for fumbling.
Who's like the bad? Like, what's the team that you hate the most in your division?
I think
as a Broncos
I'm not
fan.
going to lie to you. I think all three, the Chargers, Chiefs, and Broncos, all probably hate the Raiders the most.
Okay.
And it's not even, I don't know, maybe I don't want to speak for the other fan bases, but for us, it's because, obviously now, I think a Charger-Chiefs game, we're going to have to fight to win, for sure. That's going to be a tough game. That's going to have to be a battle that we're going to have to execute well, which I don't know right now if we're prepared for it. But, that being said, it's the rivalry there is great, but, I just can't express to you, it's the Raiders. I all the teams I think in the AFC West would band together to destroy the Raiders if it was a possibility. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny because there's
still there. Oh my god. But yeah.
Oh no, that's crazy.
Tua's still on the ground.
That's wild.
He's been on the ground for a third of this podcast at this point. Stop showing us him. Okay, I don't want to keep seeing that guy. The poor man. Yes, thank you advertisement that came up. Honestly, that's the first time I've been happy.
He just got slammed to the ground
It's
again.
the back of the head again. NFL, you made all these guys wear these silly mushroom caps in the preseason when, come on. This is the problem.
Who's
when
their
people
backup?
keep sending their QBs out after they keep getting hit and hit. Both the Bengals and the Dolphins do this. Joe Burrow's the most sacked QB after he tore his ACL.
How do you just let your QB get slammed to the ground like that and then not have a conversation with your offensive line?
Right. And oh my god, he's in a fucking gurney.
Is he moving at all?
It doesn't look like he's doing anything. This is scary. Wait, no, I can't turn the audio
They have
on.
Teddy.
Can't turn captions on.
They
have Tough Teddy.
They have Teddy 2 legs, so I don't want to get too close to the mic, but oh no.
This. My Wi-Fi has been surprisingly good.
I love Tua. I loved watching him in Alabama. I loved the way he acted. I also loved the way Jalen Hurts acted that whole thing. He could have been he could have handled that poorly. But I loved watching Tua in college because he was just electric, and you can tell he's a good guy. But that sucks to see.
That does suck to see, dude.
I just wanted to be successful, and he's been showing flashes of it.
Gosh. I always hate to see young talent.
You know what? Honestly, a backup to Teddy Two Legs.
Teddy Bridgewater, what's up?
He was our quarterback last year, and honestly, he did an okay job.
He's definitely a solid backup, but man,
he's solid.
Tua,
more solid than a lot.
Just come on, dude.
That's wild. Fuck.
Like you've gotten paid. You're gonna get that bag no matter what. You've signed a contract. Take care of yourself. Longevity is what's important now.
But like, yeah, but
you want that dub, but like
at the same
make sure
time
you have
though,
longevity.
like how you can't really just avoid that happening again.
That's
like at a certain point, if every time you hit your head on the turf, you seize up, like at some point you're not gonna be able to play. You know.
You're right.
I don't know. It's just like a safety thing. Like that's not. It can't be good for your brain. That's happened.
CTE
is
already a problem.
In the last 10 days, he's passed out twice from a concussion, from getting his head slammed on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. How is he playing this week? Yeah, I would be pissed.
That was
too.
hilarious.
I would be pissed too. Number 14. That was a fair.
That was fair. He put his
Sherfield respect. Okay.
Well,
I'm still shaking up from Tua, but that was crazy that happened during our first episode. Obviously, did not plan that. That's insane. Our friend Connor is a big Finns fan. Shout out Connor. So I'm gonna have to ask him how he feels about that. That's good. That's just tough.
That is tough.
But okay. I don't even want to talk fantasy right now. So, let's transition to some basketball.
Basketball,
maybe?
I like that.
Basketball talk. We'll keep mentioning things that happen. Oh, they just kicked the field goal and it bounced off the pole. I think.
Hilarious.
Or they missed. Oh, dude. Oh man. Okay. Anyways, we're transitioning to basketball now. Huge Pistons fan, by the way. So I'm gonna be talking about them guys a lot. Better watch out for them. Detroit versus everybody. Shout out Cade Cunningham. But yep. Oh, they blocked it. Hell.
You guys gonna make the playoffs this year?
I'm not gonna say anything. Again, as a Detroit fan, like we're just gonna we make comments and statements, but again, we're numb to the pain. Like, sure, hell yeah, we'll go to the playoffs, but even if we don't, like that's okay. We're building. Our team's looking good. Yeah, got a bunch of youth. I mean, we might have the youngest team in the NBA right now. Well, actually, we've done a bunch of trading, so that's probably not true. But our starting lineup will probably be one of the youngest starting lineups.
That's cool. You guys have like a 2-time MVP, back-to-back MVP. I'm just curious for my knowledge. I just didn't.
Throughout history?
No, just like playing right now on your team. Is he your center? I'm like, no.
No, but you know what is interesting?
I just wanted to make sure. Just want to make sure I got that right.
Yeah, but at least my player literally didn't rupture one of his intravertebral fluid
how dare
sacs.
you?
I do love Michael Porter Jr. and I do wish him nothing but great recovery as a somewhat Denver Nuggets fan. But yeah, that guy, that is a tough injury. And before we even really dig into that, I'm going to look up a thing too to make sure that is what the injury is.
I will say, I do think that the Nuggets have a lot of potential this year. I think that is said a lot in the last couple of years with things not going right. I'm super excited to see how Bones Highland steps up this year.
Love Bones Highland.
To be honest with you, Busy Bones, just because he honestly last year played so well for being a rookie. He fit in really good. He's not the biggest guy, but he's super athletic. Another guy I'm excited to see, is he going to return, is Michael Porter Jr. We took him at 14th in the NBA draft a couple of years ago, and he has shown some really awesome flashes of greatness and being a lethal shooter and force. However, injuries have held him back. He had a back injury in high school, never played in college. Took a chance on him, and
he didn't play at all in college. I thought he played a little bit.
I think he only played. I think he played like one All-American.
T. Higgins, okay.
College game. Like I really think he only played like one thing. Okay. But that being said, even without Michael Porter Jr., which I hope, we signed him, so I hope we can play with him. Jamal Murray's back. He says he feels rejuvenated. The Denver Post had this article out the other day that Jamal Murray and Jokic just hadn't skipped a beat. I think they're one of my favorite. I'm a Nuggets fan, but I think they're one of the most lovable duos in the NBA, to be honest with you, because all they do is crack jokes with each other. But it's super exciting.
Jamal and Jokic, is that you said? Sorry,
it's super exciting to see Jamal back. He's one of my favorite players.
Jamal is so electric. I'm excited. I am excited to see this healthy Nuggets team again. As a somewhat Nuggets fan,
here's my thing.
I've been to several of their games.
Even if Michael Porter doesn't come back, as long as Jamal Murray can stay healthy, like Jokic and Murray, that's going to get you to the playoffs. And we have a good team around. But then you got Bones Highland, we have Ish Smith now. We got some other younger guys, and I really think that, I don't know, with Jokic on our team, like, it's really crazy to me that kind of we've had Jokic for a couple years, and it scares me to think of wasting him and not winning a championship.
Jokic, exactly.
Because that's
how it always is.
He's a generational talent, to be honest with you. The amount of work that guy's put in, I'm not going to say he deserves a championship, but he deserves to fight for a championship. And I think this team needs to give that to him. Because the last 4 years, it has been him giving that to the team. And I think the team needs to start to, help him get there. Because he doesn't deserve a championship, but he deserves to put the gloves on and fight. Because once he's there, I really don't.
Yes.
I don't see a bad thing. We have some big changes in the wings for the Nuggets. Will Barton is gone, but we did make some big additions. Contavious Caldwell-Pope, that's huge. That's huge.
That is huge.
KCP.
I've actually been playing. He's
super athletic.
2K23.
Other than that, we got Michael Porter Jr. who's out. Bruce Brown. It's definitely gonna be a step up situation, I think, with the Denver's wings. Just because we had to trade. We traded Will Barton to Washington for Caldwell Pope. However, Caldwell Pope is gonna be awesome. 2 years, $30 million. Bruce Brown, he's gonna be solid. I think a lot of these guys are gonna end up stepping up into their own. And to the forwards, I know that we have Aaron Gordon still, Jeff Green still. Jermichael Green is gone, and Zeke Naji is still there with Justin Tillman. That'll be fun. Looking at the centers, we got DeAndre Jordan and Nikola Jokic. So, took out Boogie, added DeAndre Jordan. I think that's going to be a really cool...
how do you think that's going to make much of a difference?
I don't know, dude. They're both older guys, but if I could be honest with you, I think DeAndre Jordan's a lot more explosive than DeMarcus Cousins. Granted, they are both old, but... I don't think it's a downgrade, to be honest with you. 1 year, $2.9 million, and I think that he's going to be getting some good time. However, we do have Zeke Naji and Justin Tillman. I do believe they're going to be getting
a little bit more depth.
Center, so I think it'll be cool. I do think we got better. I will say we're going to miss out on Monte Morris and Will Barton's presence, just because, like, Monte Morris, he can get a bucket whenever he goes out on the floor.
I do like Monte Morris.
Will Barton, we'll go to some games this year.
Yeah, we definitely do. We'll definitely go to a Pistons versus Nuggets game.
We'll find that. We'll find that. We see if we can get some tickets.
I went to that last year, I believe.
With the box. That'd be sick, wouldn't it? Get some box seats, tickets for the Pistons.
Anyway,
I've seen Will Barton really let me down and really do some cool things also, so it's like a spectrum. So it's like,
okay.
But we will miss him because he was a good, solid guy to come off the bench, an amazing six-man. I hope he does well in Washington. But I think if Michael Porter doesn't get better, which, I don't think we're
right, yeah, I did just want to talk about his injury, the specifics.
Just
so, people know. I don't think people really realize just how intense of his injury, how intense his injury was.
Just before you start that, I will say I think a lot of these guys, Kankar, he was on the team last year. He's going to have to step up. A lot of these wings are going to have to really come into their own, and KCP is going to be a huge addition. So,
that is going to be a huge addition.
But Michael Porter, obviously, that back injury that's been a multi-year situation.
Yeah, so and I'm trying to find a solid. You can keep talking about the team, but I'm just trying to find a solid article.
So in terms of that, though, looking at the whole scope of the NBA season for 2023, who do you have some favorites for the championship?
Championship for 2023. I guess to actually answer your question from earlier, I don't necessarily think the Pistons will. I hope they go to the playoffs. Rooting for it, but I'm not sure if they will do it this year because they're still building. They have great depth. If we were to pull up their roster, they have great depth. And they keep making moves. But they are just so young, and because they've made so many moves, the camaraderie and chemistry is probably not quite there. Probably need a season or two to still build to that. Okay. But our head coach and GM have produced 3 all-rookie first-team players in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
But anyways, to answer your current question, championship favorites, I think I want it to be the Nuggets versus, the Celtics or something.
Yeah.
But I think it could be the Nuggets or the Warriors were just
Warriors are
just so good, but...
Is this for this season?
I think it'll be the Celtics or the Bucks on the East.
Right
Bucks
now,
on the East, right?
It has the Celtics being the highest odds as at 575, and it has the Lakers tied with the Nuggets. Which, okay, Let's talk about the
It's
Lakers.
LeBron, but
I love LeBron. One of the reasons why I love basketball. However, I just don't know. You're paying Russ so much, and you're going to rely on Anthony Davis to stay healthy, which is not a good
Westbrook.
bet. 99% of the time. Like, no disrespect to Anthony Davis, but he just, notoriously gets hurt. It's just like it keeps happening, and it's like it doesn't seem like they can really put any cards in that boat. You're just going to kind of have these years with LeBron where he's playing really well and everyone around him's hurt, and then also they don't really have much depth right now because you're paying Russell Westbrook $40 million.
Exactly.
If Russell Westbrook can't step up this season, it's going to be the same story as last season.
It will be.
And I'm fully convinced that. The Nets, that's just such a crazy thing. I don't even understand that. And I think the Warriors are honestly a good another favorite. I'm not going to lie to you. I think they're only going to get stronger. Clay and Curry are some of the most inspirational players of all time. Honestly. I'm not a Warriors fan, but I love watching them play. And with their leadership,
I can hate Curry.
Their shooting isn't going to get worse, I mean, maybe it is a little bit, but they already shoot like 50%, so it's like, they can lead still. I think Draymond is a huge glue of that team that is underappreciated.
Draymond is a great piece in that puzzle.
I think any other team he probably doesn't fit, but that team it works.
Okay, I think this article's going to talk about it more.
But yeah, I think it'll be cool. I think the NBA.
This will be a great season. I think for me as a Pistons fan,
I know the
and
Utah
this guy is
mix-up. The Cleveland mix-up.
Oh
Donovan
my
Mitchell
goodness.
to Cleveland.
Let's talk about that real quick. That was fairly recent.
Can we talk about how the Jazz are
the Jazz went from being a contending team
so fast.
Like in the bubble, we were like, okay, this team could be like a championship contending team.
They always scared me.
And now it's like they have fully committed. The Pistons just got Bojanovic or whatever his name is from the Jazz. Like they've gotten rid of everybody.
But here's the thing: if you look at their scope of picks and what they're looking like, dude, we in 5 years, 6 years, we gotta watch out for them because they're gonna be scary. Yeah. They have a really good system. They got a lot to rebuild with right now, which is
they
wild.
do indeed. But
did you find out more about this?
Yeah, so I found this. But talking about, I guess, Michael Porter's injury specifically. So, I found, this is Bleacher Report. But so basically, what my understanding is that Michael Porter Jr. has had 2 back surgeries since college.
It's on the same thing, right?
And what he specifically injured is his intervertebral fluid sac, I believe.
Is it just in one vertebrae? Is it the whole spine?
I think it's just one part of in between 2 of his vertebrae. And again, that's the literally the fluid sac in your spine.
That allows your
fluid sacs that keep your vertebrae from compressing and hitting each other. Oh. So as a basketball player, he's 6'10", 6'11". He's jumping up and landing, and every time those intervertebral fluid sacs are there to compress
that's gotta be super painful
those vertebrae. So that's one
there.
of the problems with tall NBA players is that's those lower back problems. And apparently his family, and I think maybe even his sister, I'm not 100% sure, also has an issue like this. So it's like a family thing as well. So he just literally has to have a new fluid sac put in his spine. And it could with today's medicine it could be even stronger than before, but that's not even a back surgery. That's spine. That's straight up spinal surgery.
That's crazy. That's got to be super painful.
And that's just shout out to I hope he recovers because that's just such a thing to go through.
I mean, we put our trust in him. I will say we gave him the guaranteed money.
Again,
gave him the
medicine,
super max
who knows?
deal.
Just give him a new back altogether. Who knows? But
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't end up
Craziness.
playing ever again, and he's got his money. But if he does,
I do hope he plays.
I do too.
he's
I think
good.
that'd be a crazy addition. Is the NHL back?
No way. Is there a preseason?
I feel like we should know this. I think preseason's going on. Yeah, that's super exciting. We'll have an episode about that coming up.
Yeah,
soon.
we'll have.
I'm a huge Avalanche fan. I can actually pull up just make a little thing, show some pictures of the parade I went to.
That would be sick.
Over the summer. Shotgun a beer 7 a.m. in Denver. It was sick.
I drink a beer.
Saw Mikko Rantanen just absolutely catch a beer and chug it through his jersey and then hold up the cup. It was one of the best days I've had.
It's very fraternal.
It was awesome. And then there's a part where all of Denver, you know how all the small things was the song for the Avalanche.
Yep.
They played it after when they were doing their ceremony at the the Capitol building.
Right.
And the whole city of Denver was singing it. And we were in this dive bar and it was super. It was tight. It was fucking sick. Goosebumps.
I bet.
But yeah, that was
Yes. Yeah.
prayers up for TUA. Still don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
with
we're
that.
still
Hopefully
watching
we
this
can
game.
find
Still
out.
the
Let me
first
see if I can
half.
see anything.
No.
TUA.
Any updates real quick before we start signing off? Okay, I think that's kind of it. We introduce ourselves, and we'll be talking about a little bit of everything.
Okay, real quick, before the race this weekend, I just want to get this out there. Going. Lewis Hamilton said that they are. He's usually cautiously optimistic. That's a fair trend to have this season. Mercedes had some things to figure out. There's all new regulations for the season, so all the teams had to kind of restart and start from scratch. So this track doesn't get used at all, aside from this weekend, because it's a street. So it's going to be interesting to watch. I'm hoping. I just want one thing for the rest of the season. That's it. This is all I want.
Okay.
Give it to me, please. Lewis, if you're listening. I know you're not listening because no one's going to hear this. Just win, Lewis. That's all I need from you. I just need him to win once. He's won in every season. He's been in for every one.
Piss off, Max.
And Max can eat it. It's supposed to rain. Lewis is a god in the rain. Maybe we can get a double podium for Mercedes. But realistically, I think we're going to see... I don't even know. I think, as much as I hate to say it, I think it's going to be Verstappen, Leclerc, and maybe Hamilton in the top 3. But I'm hoping for that Mercedes win. So there's that. Midfield is going to be exciting. We'll go through some more news about that. Maybe we'll have like our own little segment on the F1 news. A lot of driver moves. Daniel Ricciardo still doesn't have a seat, and Yuki Tsunoda just signed a new contract. So that's all gibberish to probably most people.
That was gibberish to me.
That's okay. I'm super excited for it, and we will talk about the race. It's happening on Sunday, and we will see how that prediction happened. But
and we'll talk about it then
too.
We'll
talk about it too. Yeah, we can have one on Sunday.
We'll be talking about hockey. We'll be watching football games probably at that time too.
Red zone.
Hopefully, no more quarterbacks get put back in gurneys.
That's not what
God. Anyways.
Right, you want to take it away?
Yeah, I think that's gonna conclude our first episode of whatever we're gonna end up naming this, but the Peak and Kleck
podcast for now.
We'll see y'all later. Oh, right before the end of the half, I think that's Chase Edmonds. Dolphins getting a touchdown.
That's the end of the third or half?
End of the half, I think.
What time is it?
It's only 7:50. Yeah, 9 seconds left in the half.
Well, Teddy Two Legs. Who caught it?
Cool.
Was that Tyreek? No.
No, it's Chase Edmonds.
All right, well.
Yeah, screw Tyreek. Sorry, no fantasy for him.
Man.
But everybody have a good night, and we'll see you in a few days.